to reach an African American consumer and really be part of the conversation in an authentic way, partner with these brand ambassadors who are doing amazing things on these social media platforms, having conversations that you're not a part of right now. By inserting yourself in those conversations in a strategic way, we help our advertising partners connect, and we also help our influencers and our publishers, is what we call them, monetize. Now YouTube is a bit ahead of the curve, as Jamal was talking about, because there's already an infrastructure in place for you to monetize. If you put your videos up, you're able to set your settings for advertising and make money. Now, unfortunately, most of the major social media platforms are not set up for you to do this. You build a huge audience on Facebook. The Facebook folks are making that money. You build a huge audience on Twitter. Twitter people are making that money. So we sort of insert ourselves outside of the traditional channels to bring a really great product to our advertising partners, and then also help our content partners, some of you who are in this room, make money as well. Now, how much money that you make really depends on the kind of scale you can build online. So we have some partners that we regularly write, 4 and 5-figure checks a month to, and it really is just based on the audience that they bring to the table. And we have campaigns with leading brands like Macy's and Chevrolet and Sony and Universal. So you're not going to have some janky, crazy-looking ads. We have ads from top advertising partners that are specifically tailored to the multicultural market, so that are consistent with your content.
So 2 quick stories. So about 3 years ago, I was sitting down with Troy Carter, who was managing Lady Gaga at the time. He told me the story of a woman named Lindsay Sterling. So Lindsay Sterling was on American Got Talent. She was kicked off, and then she decided to focus 100% of her efforts on YouTube. So within 2.5 years, her videos averaged 2 million views. She has 7.5 million subscribers. She sells over 100,000 records on iTunes with no record label. And she sells out venues to her own production company that she picks the locations based on where her YouTube traffic comes from. So what Troy told me was when he wanted to sit down with her, she said, "Excuse me, I don't want to be rude, but I don't know what you can do for me." And he was managing Lady Gaga. The other story I'm going to tell you is about a young African-American gentleman named Marquise Brown. He started creating videos at the age of 14 because he liked technology. He started doing tech reviews off of his phone. He just graduated from college 2 weeks ago. He has 5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, and he's making 7 figures a year. And in a story I just read in Fast Company, said that he's glad he graduated with college, so now he can focus more time on his channel, right? So I tell you those stories so that you understand the scope of this, right? Because we sit in rooms and we talk about, hey, I should create a channel, but hey, maybe I'll get involved. But the reality is we're talking significant dollars and opportunity for you to do that. And I wanted to get you that to get you excited, because I'm going to go to who just became the most popular man in the room, Jamal, for the reception, because you told people you made $1 million. So have at it at the reception. so Jamal, maybe talk about, what do people, I always say that the hardest thing for people to do is start, right? Because people will come up with 100 excuses why they can't. I don't have the right camera, my lights is broke, whatever excuse they have. So maybe talk about how do people start?
I mean, it's as simple as the slogan. I mean, you really just gotta put down the excuses, and you really just gotta do it. Because it's the barriers that were, like Spike Lee was up here telling a story about how he made She's Gotta Have It. This generation of people won't have those same challenges. It's not going to buy film from Kodak and do this and do that. Cameras are everywhere. There's film fest from iPhones. There's iPhone film fest. People make films on their iPhone. So it's not about really, there are real hurdles, especially for minorities, but it's not about letting those hurdles stop you. It's about taking the opportunities that's out there and just making the best of it. And even as Sheila was talking about, some of the social media platforms aren't set up for monetization. I had 18 million views on YouTube before they had a monetization program. So who's to say Instagram won't figure out a way to monetize it one day, or Facebook, probably not. But won't figure out a way to monetize it. Sometimes just sticking to it and waiting for the opportunities to come. But really, it's getting up and doing it, taking your camera and not letting perfection like stop you. You don't have to make the perfect product the first time. Just work at it. You can't get to perfect if you don't try. You know, if you look at, I use sports analogies because I'm in sports, but if you look at somebody shooting free throws, he's not going to shoot free throws like Steph Curry if he's too scared to shoot the first free throw. You can miss them, air ball, whatever, but you got to shoot enough to get good enough to where you're going to be able to make money from it. And part of that is people that want to tell stories. Tell your stories. Use YouTube. Don't be scared because you don't have 100,000 followers. You know, do it, and then maybe those followers will come. Or maybe a platform that has those followers will say, hey, I like your content. Why don't you put it over here and we can work together to bring an audience to your great content. So I think a lot of it is just not being scared and just doing it.
Absolutely.
There are many experienced content creators that are here tonight, but for those of you who aren't, the other thing is really learning the business, learning the production side. There is an art to it, so take some training, take a class and actually learn how to do it so that when you do it well. Some of the trends that are coming down the pike, they say by 2020, the workforce is going to be 40% contractors. So many of you who are working in corporate America or working for someone else, we're going to have to look at the reality. We may be self-employed, and we have to retool, and especially those who are in Generation X. They're saying this generation is really just going to be lost if we don't retool and continue to gain new skills over the years. So it's really important that we invest in ourselves to learn what we're trying to do before we step out to do it.
So I want to take the time to open it up and let you guys ask these guys some questions. As you see, they have a lot of knowledge. I think I'm going to have to steal your mic. You got another mic? My man. So we got one right there.
Thank you. Good evening. So Sheila, I'm going to direct this one to you because you talked about not only media and capital. And we met at an opportunity where you were raising capital for your business, and I work with raising capital. I'm curious if you could share about that early process of raising capital for your organization, as well as what you see in the future of other companies needed to prep to raise capital.
It's hard. So, the capital raising process has been very clubby, and there have been, kind of secret backdoor handshakes to get people in the door in the traditional sort of venture funded route. And I'm just going to be real with you guys. I checked all the boxes in terms of having the credentials. I went to Princeton, went to Harvard, worked at a big investment bank in New York. So when you look at kind of the profile of who people fund, I look like all the other guys, except I don't look like the other guys, right? So, you have to be tenacious and find people who believe in you and what you're doing. And what I mean by that is you have to find a champion. And it's not necessarily going to be another person of color, someone who you've known. It's just somebody that sees something in you and sees something in the opportunity, and it's going to just go hard for you in those rooms that you're not going to ever be in. So, I had this amazing Jewish man named Mark just approach me and say, I really liked your presentation, and I think that you would be an amazing founder. And in subsequent meetings with these angel networks, he was in that room telling my story when I wasn't there. And I think you have to find an advocate that's going to be in that room when you're not there, because they see so many pitches. It's very easy to say, oh yeah, this, pick any number of reasons why they don't think that you're going to work out, or I just can't put my finger on it, but I just wouldn't feel comfortable, Sheila, whatever that is. You have to have somebody in that room to call them out on that. So I think that that's very important, and was instrumental in getting me going, because once you get one yes, then the rest of the yeses get a little bit easier.
Any other questions right here?
Thank all you guys for being here. I have a question as far as what are you guys' thoughts, any of you, as it relates to the emergence of technology and its impact on our social health, and how we can integrate that going forward, staying cognizant of both and developing something that works for both?
I think they're trying to figure out which way to ask it. It's so intelligent of a question, they got a very
I also missed part of it.
Okay, essentially, there's a lot. Everybody's excited about technology, and it's having certain effects on us culturally. And we're so early in the process that we're not yet able to measure what the impact is. And so I just wanted to know if any of you guys have given thought to that in your work with technology, and what are your thoughts for making sure that the